And we're back, guys. Tennis in a Minute. I'm your host, Get Energy, Marketa Vondrousova. Whoa, I'm so happy for her success. She jumped up 21 spots. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. She's now ranked 7th in the world. And listen, if she wins Wimbledon, she can jump up as high as number 3. And Ons Jabeur, whether she wins or loses, she's currently ranked 5th in the live rankings. She'll at least move up to 4th, and she has the option to jump up to number 3. But listen, guys, these ladies are amazing. Not only is there I don't know, a ton of money up for grabs, like $2.3 million for the winner, nearly 1.2 for the loser, but just the first slam. There's going to be a first time slam champion. That is beautiful, and I'm so happy for both of these ladies. I want to talk about Marketa, guys, because let's go back to the Tokyo Games and we'll talk about this interview. I thought Marketa, the way she was playing, I thought there was no one on tour that could beat her. I'm surprised that Belinda. Now, I did take Belinda to beat her for the gold medal game, but Marketa gave that game away, in my opinion. I just thought Marketa would ride that wave and just dominate the tour. She literally. Now, she was asked in this interview. This interview was conducted before the conclusion of the Sabalenka match, and she was asked, who would she want to play. Now, she mentioned, of course, Sabalenka is very strong. She plays fast. She's powerful. But in terms of Ons, she said, well, Ons is more my style. Uses a lot of spin, drop shots. And I've been saying that for a while. These two players, they mirror each other. Now, Marketa has beat Ons the last 2 times they played, right? The Indian Wells and the Australian Open. And the Australian Open was a little more competitive. It did go 3, but at the Indian Wells, the Indian Wells there was a tiebreak in there as well. I feel that Ons looked a little sluggish to start at the Australian Open, and of course, she wasn't that healthy at the Indian Wells. But nonetheless, they did play at Stuttgart, and Ons won that on clay, and they played at Eastbourne. That was the only time they played on grass, and Ons won that match as well. But in terms of Marketa, she said some interesting things. She said, just being here is amazing. It's a dream come true nonetheless. But she said just the thought of being in a grass final, she never thought that because she's barely a 500 grass player, right? With her run here. But she said on hard or clay, yeah, that's something that she could have dreamt of. And of course, she's already made a Grand Slam final at the French Open where Ashley Barty beat her in 19. But she was asked she hit an amazing forehand shot against Svitolina today. And she said, do you practice shots like that? She said, no, she never practiced a shot like that because much like Ons, Marketa, they're more of a rhythm type of player, a flow, right? If anyone that has ever played sports or competed, when you're in your groove and your rhythm and you're just feeling the timing of the ball, that's when, the amazing highlights come out. And anyone that had the luxury to watch players like Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan, those types of players, once they get their flow into the game, that's when all of those amazing plays would happen. When Michael Jordan, he hangs up on one side of the rim and then reverses it to the left and he makes the left hand shot when he started on the right side of the basket. That's just finding a flow for the game. That's why Ons finds all of these amazing highlights. So she's able to make all these amazing plays because she really finds her rhythm and her swag. And once she's confident, the shots, the highlight reels are amazing. And Marketa's the same. I really do love Marketa's game. I'm a huge fan of her. And I had the chance to meet her. Just seeing the average type of player, like she's short, okay? Marketa and Ons are 2 of the shortest players on tour. Not the shortest players on tour, but, they're pretty short. They're average size females. Marketa's probably, I would say she's probably like 5'6". She's a small young woman. And just to see how amazing she is, it's mind-blowing. I really admire her game. She is so freaking good. And she was asked about just the tattoos. And she said, look, if I'm not mistaken, I think one of her older countrywomen was the first #1 to get a tattoo. The first big star in tennis to get a tattoo, Karolina Pliskova, right? If I'm not mistaken. And she said, look, it's just about an appreciation for art. She is tatted up. I'm telling you, I've enjoyed seeing her. She is tatted up. And I got an autograph. I may even give that out to one of the Czech fans Yeah, it was nice for her to stop and talk. I really like her game. Now, the head-to-head is 3-3 between these two players, and I'm actually shocked that Ons is a 2-1 favorite. I think so far, look, it's just an opening line. I think Ons is overvalued, to be honest with you. I think it's a 50-50 match. It should be right down the middle. The head-to-head is 3-3. Marketa's won the last two meetings. They're both playing well. Now, if I can find any difference between these two ladies' game, Marketa is, look, they're all good. They're both good with drop shot slices, redirecting, changing pace. But Marketa is probably more of a straightforward player. I'd say when it comes to stretching the court and baselining, Ons is definitely the better player. And I think she showed today that she's right now the stronger player. I think her footwork's probably a little better. So is that what the experts are thinking when they're saying the 2-1 odds? Maybe, if you look at it that way, okay. I still think 2-1 is too high for a championship like this. 2-1 is too high. But she mentioned her husband. Look, he's at home watching the cat. He's cat sitting, but he will be coming up here, of course, to watch the championship. She mentioned last year she was here watching her best friend Miriam play. She was in a cast. And I'm so happy the cast is off. She's back to her form. And look, guys, I had some haters talk about Marketa and say she wasn't good. I was in the comments going head-to-head with someone. She's a former junior number one. She's beat a lot of these players, guys. And listen, former silver medalist. She's big time. You know who you are. You tried to throw her under the bus, and I came to her defense. She's big time, guys. Get your popcorn. The final set. I'm excited. Who wins? Comment below. I'm happy for Marketa. She's tatted up. She said she's just gonna chill for the meantime. I like her. She's a good woman.